Panther Nation, what's good? Welcome back to Two Fans in the Stands. I am your favorite armchair GM, CJ.
Y'all know what it is. I'm your favorite couch scout, Jordan there, Tony. Come on, one time, cuzzo, what's happening?
Hey, your boy tired today, cuz I'm tired, man. I'm tired. Trying
Listen,
to do a
I,
little.
I,
I can't even call it spring cleaning. It's hot as hell out here. I'm in the midst of it all, trying to clean some old projects out of my backyard, stuff that I'm like, man, yeah, I'm tired of looking at it, so I'm trying to get rid of it. But yeah, your boy's
yeah,
tired.
yeah. I don't even want to talk about tired right now.
How you
Yeah,
doing, man?
yeah. I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm good. Had a lot of running around to do
Mm,
yesterday. Busy, you
okay.
know, from sun up to sundown, pretty much.
I got you. I got you. I got you.
Yeah,
Well, if y'all notice, we're coming to you an hour earlier tonight. Okay, we're gonna try out something different here. See if this is better for you guys out there. We got a lot of folks that like myself up in age a little bit. Trying to get into bed a little bit earlier. So hey, let us know how this new time work for y'all. If it does, it doesn't. Hey, let us know. But as always, if you're new here, welcome. Thank you for checking us out. If you look below me, you see our social media tags. You can check us out. Our social media, Two Fans in the Stands, and on what we dub as Twix. That's a mixture of Twitter and X. You can check us out at Two Fans ITS. All right. And Tony, let me get
yes, sir.
into the comments here. All right. Doug, what's going on, Doug? He says, "Go big,
What's
cuz
going on,
man. That
Doug?
lab work I created was fire." Doug, I'm gonna have to get with you after that because the interactions between iPhone and Android are a little wonky when it comes to sending videos. Okay, but I'll get with you after. All right? Let me see. SC Faithful said, "What's up, guys? Glad y'all giving me something to get get my damn Lakers off my mind."
Team
Yo,
Bron.
hey, you know what? I'll ask that question here in a second because I know it ain't got nothing to do with Panther football, but I do want to hear y'all thoughts on that. Yeah, let me see. Big Walk TTD, two fans. What's going on, man? How you doing?
What's going on, Big
See,
Walk?
Raw, what's up, CJ and Tony? What's going on? What's going on? Let me
What's
see.
going on,
Fayette
Raw?
Nine said he can't hear us on his TV. Ah, well, can everybody else hear us? And make sure we ain't here talking to nobody.
Right, right.
Y'all let us know. All right. But yeah, because but hey, I do before we get into anything, I do want to bring up the the LeBron and Bronny Jr. situation real quick. Okay. They've been catching a lot of flack about that. What real quick, what's your thoughts?
Um, Basically, for me, hey, just be honest, man. Just keep it real. You know what I'm saying? You, how can I say it? Well, Rich Paul came out and said one thing
Mm,
when all actuality, it's another. Like everybody knew from the beginning what the Lakers, what Rich Paul was, LeBron James was going to do. They was going their
mm,
whole plan from the jump was to get Bronny to LA. Everybody knew that. So why not just own it? You know what I'm saying? Like,
mm-hmm,
I watched Rich Paul a few days ago on the pivot, and they was talking about nepotism and how nepotism is everywhere in sports. Well, basically
mm-hmm,
everywhere worldwide. If you got a family member or a friend, a close friend or somebody, and you have a certain status, um at whatever job you're at, and if you can get that person on, you know what I'm saying, and you feel like they can do good enough work, to be on, then you look out for them. We have it in our everyday world. Whether
Mm-hmm.
you're working at Bank of America Stadium or if you're working at Chick-fil-A, nepotism is everywhere. So I just hate to hear Rich Paul talk about it one way when it's not really that way. And you say you that type of dude. If
Mm-hmm.
you type of dude that keep it 100, well, keep it 100 all the way around the board, not when it only fits you. And then what made it even worse is that Rob Pelinka took the narrative and ran with it, and really didn't make no sense what he was
Mm-hmm.
trying to say. Like, you it just seemed like it was just crazy. I can't, I don't want to get into it too much, but it was just crazy. Just keep it 100. Everybody can see it from the beginning, and it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't blame them. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people are down on Bronny because of his last season stats. I don't even count last season. The man had a heart attack. You know what I'm saying? The young man had a heart attack, missed 5 months of his first collegiate season. He came back, I think, like in January. Well, that was towards the end of the season. But if you watched him or seen highlights of him ever since he's been playing at Sierra Canyon and before, you
Mm-hmm.
see that he's a special talent. Now it's going to take time to groom him into what Laker Nation um really dub him as, or see him as. But I can understand that his father wants to make sure that he's put in the best possible light, that he's getting the best teaching and the best grooming to prepare him for a NBA career down the road. So hey,
Okay.
if you got it, if you got the juice, hey, flaunt it. Everybody does.
Okay.
But I
Okay.
just, I think that people have a problem with them not being 100 about it. Just saying it is what it is. Now on the flip side, I can see the optics that it could create by you just
Mm-hmm.
come out saying, well, he can't really just come out and say, well, yeah, we wanted to draft my son. Yeah, we told everybody don't draft him, blase blah or what have you. But I think there was other ways that it could have been handled
Mm-hmm.
to be truthful without giving the full story. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Hey.
And then again, by it being pick 55 out of 58, like what is really the problem? You know what I'm saying? There were
Yeah.
58 picks in the draft. This man was 55. Ain't like he was 15. Like,
True.
like
Yeah.
stop it. Yeah.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie. I don't really have an issue with them drafting it. My only fear for Bronny is that, he's is the pressure going to be too much for him? You know what I mean? Like I really think he should have stayed one more year. Put a little
Mhm.
bit more work in college, and then came out the next year. Because obviously, LeBron he re-signed today, 2 years, 102 million dollars, I think it was, and I think he's got a
$104 million.
yeah, and I think he's
Yeah.
got an option for a third year, if I'm not mistaken, something like that. So he's going to be with him for a few years. So
What?
me personally, that's just my. But I ain't got no problem with the Lakers drafting him
Mm.
because, like I said, hell, Jerry Jones' whole front office is nothing but him and his kids. It happens
Right.
everywhere. It happened on my previous job. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
ain't got no issue with that. But thank you to SC Pace for bringing that up because I was debating on that earlier. Well, I'm just going to ask that general question out, because that's been the big discussion this week. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But not only, just real quick, I know people are talking about Bronny came out too soon, this and that. Well,
Hmm.
it's been LeBron James' dream for a number of years now to say that he played with his son in the NBA. This was something that has been planned. This wasn't nothing new that came
Hmm.
about just his first year at
Yeah.
USC. They had been in talks about this. And the contract that he signed today was 2 years, 104 million with a play option for a second year. So basically a 1 year contract. So don't be surprised if this is LeBron James last year. I think his end goal, he has accomplished everything else that he wanted to do as far as NBA wise. I think his one last goal was to play with his son. And I think once that is accomplished this
Mm-hmm.
year, there's very likely that this could be LeBron's last year.
Okay. All right, bet. Okay. So let me see. Fed Nine said I'll be back when the Panthers Panther talk begins. NBA and the Lakers. All right. So Fed Nine, don't venture off too far. I just wanted to get that out real quick. That was something I was thinking about earlier. But okay, what you're all here for. Okay, we're going to start off continuing, my little series on looking at each position group and kind of ranking them, against the other position groups in the NFC South. Okay. So let me see here. Let me get all this stuff off of my screen. All right. Now we have our defensive line. Okay. So now me and Tony talked about this the other day. We included our edge rushers, our outside linebackers, since on most plays, Woonham, Clowney, both of them, or one or the other will be coming just about every damn play. Okay, so they are,
Right.
in essence, are part of our defensive line. Okay, and I wanted to start off. I got Big Derek Brown here on the left. I think he is the anchor, of our defensive line. He proved that last year. He got his contract extension. Okay, we brought in Ashawn Robinson. We brought in DJ Woonham, and we brought in Jadavion Clowney. All right, and as of right now,
Right.
Shy Tuttle is still our starting nose guard. All right, Tony, give your thoughts on our defensive line, then I'll give mine.
On paper, I think it's looking really good. The number one thing that I was happy for was we finally got Derrick Brown a running mate on the opposite side of him with Ashawn Robinson. I don't know if a lot of people followed him when he came out of Alabama, but Ashawn Robinson was a dog,
Mm-hmm.
especially at Alabama. He was part of that vaunted defensive line that was there for Nick Saban. I think they won two national championships while he was there. Uh, I mean, he matches Derrick Brown in height, weight, athleticism. I think he's a little bit more athletic than Derrick Brown. I don't think
Mm-hmm.
he's as much of a, a stop the run type of defensive tackle like Derrick Brown, but I believe he's up there. I think he may be a little bit more better pass rusher than um than Derrick Brown. But I'm just happy that they finally got him, in my opinion, a quality running mate opposite side of him. And then when you bring in Jadavion Clowney and DJ Warnham, the only thing that concerns me about that tandem is DJ Warnham's health. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Making sure that he's 100% come training camp. He's ready to go. Uh, I wanted to see what that tandem does. I know a lot of people are not really high on DJ Warner because they say, well, he played opposite of Daniil Hunter. Well, he took advantage of the opportunity that was presented to him playing opposite side of a great defensive end. Now he's gonna play on the opposite side of a great defensive end in Carolina, and you just hope that his production carries over for the Panthers as it did in Minnesota. So that whole dumb spillage about what he has. Who cares? Who cares? Everybody wants their offense and defense to have stars, to have players, to have a tandem or whatnot. So
Mm-hmm.
look, long as he can match his production like he had in Minnesota, that's all I'm concerned about. So
Okay.
if Jadavion Clowney can bring that out of him, then cool. So in essence, what I see pressure coming up the middle, and I see pressure coming from the edge. And I don't think we're going to see anything close to what we saw last year as far as the pass rusher being able to get to the quarterback. I think that's going to be a little bit more. I think that's going to be more of a problem this year, like in the past. And last year, we just going to chunk that tape and just throw it in the trash can, put a little kerosene on, no, not kerosene, lighter fluid, and just
Okay.
you know the rest. What about you?
Okay. Besides Derek Brown, I got reservations about our defensive line. Okay, and I'm gonna start with Shy Tuttle. And the reason why I chose that picture of him right there is because that was basically you know where you saw him at the latter half of last season was kind of sort of on the bench. Okay, you saw more so of Nick Thurman and who was the one, LeBron Ray. Um, than you did Tuttle. That's just from my standpoint. If
Hmm.
somebody else has anything different, please put it in the chat and let me know. But he kind of faded, going towards the end of the year. All right. And like you said, DJ Woonham, he had a setback with his injury. I still think the word is that he'll be ready for training camp, but we'll see. Is he going to be
Right.
fully healthy? If he's out there, what kind of how many snaps is he going to take? What kind of I'm sorry, the reps? How many reps is he going to get? Is he going to be limited in any way? Is he going to be doing more work on the sideline? Or whatever. Jadavion
Right.
Clowney. Okay, when Clowney is healthy, if you go back and look at Clowney's stats, when he's healthy and he starts, every game of the season or maybe miss a game, he's around that 9 to 10 sack range. Okay, but he's had a few seasons where he did have some injuries that bit him in the butt, and he didn't play those whole seasons.
Right.
So hopefully this is a one of those years where he does come out and he plays the entire season, because I don't want to get this false sense of hope like we did last year, because we had Brian Burns. They said everything was going to be okay. They're working on his contract, yada yada yada. All right, we were still looking at the other side of the ball, and we're like, we drafted DJ Johnson. We had Mari Barno still. What's my man name? YGM Ten
Marquise
Gross Motto.
Haynes.
Yeah, Marquise Haynes. Okay, but that never panned out. And then we brought in Justin Houston, and I think everybody got excited about Justin Houston coming over. And we were like, okay, he's a little older, but he still got the juice. Him and Brian Burns, that we ought to be able to do something good. And it did not pan out. I think the biggest thing for me is the health of DJ Woonham, and can the triplet of Derek Brown, Shy Tuttle, and Ashawn Robinson create enough pressure up the middle of the offensive line to make the opposing quarterback uncomfortable. Okay, because
Right.
I think now as a whole, as a defensive whole, I think we had like 98 pressures last year, and everybody else in our division was like 145 to 150 or something, or above. Okay. So I,
Okay.
I didn't I didn't see that a lot last year. Us being able to let me see, us being able to get pressure on opposing quarterbacks. All right. And even in the run game, our run game was very fluid last year. All right. And I think also that had a lot to do with Shy Tuttle. All right.
Yeah.
And is it a thing where he's going to come back and have a better season this year? Was it did he not get the scheme? I mean, I don't know what it is. Was he too light in the ass? You know what I mean? And it's not like he's going. I don't know if he has, but to me, every picture I've seen, it doesn't look like he's gone out and put on 30 pounds in hopes of becoming that anchor. Because if you look at it, I mean, hell, you got Derek Burns sitting there like 320 something, Ashawn Robinson sitting there like 320 something, and Shy Tuller is a peanut butter and jelly sandwich away from being 299. So you know what I mean? Hey, and like, hold on, and like Marcos Cash said, Shy Tuttle is not a true nose guard. No, he is not. But they brought him here, and that's the role that he played, last year, and it just to me it
Yeah.
kind of it just it really blew my mind.
Well,
Especially like during the latter part of the season, he kind of faded away.
yeah. Well, this is the only thing I would say about Shot Tuttle.
Hmm.
I think it would benefit him by having Ashawn Robinson on the other side. Because if go back and watch some of the tape last year, there
Hmm.
was a lot of zone gaps and pin downs on a nose tackle last year where he was getting double teamed and pushed off the spot. Like you would have thought that Shaw Tutter was playing uh defensive tackle instead of nose tackle last year.
Mm-hmm.
That's how far he was being pushed off the spot. But now that you have Ashawn Robinson on the opposite side of Derrick Brown, you really not going to be able to double team him like they were doing last year, because then you're going to leave Ashawn Robinson or Derrick Brown 1-on-1. And I don't think you want to do that. That's going to really be a problem. So you have to pick and choose your battle. You know what I mean? So I
Okay.
think it wasn't just beneficial having Derrick Brown alone, but having Derrick Brown and Ashawn Robinson on that line, and then, in my opinion, better and more consistent pass rushers on the edge with Clowney and Wonnum. I think it's going to be more of a problem because now that's something that we've had talked about for a while too, for a number of years. When Brian
Mm-hmm.
Burns was here, he didn't really have a true dominant running mate opposite side of him, except when we had Hassan Reddick. Well, even with even when Hassan Reddick was here, the knock that was on them two at the time was they're great pass rushers, but they can't stop the run. All you gotta do is run at them. You know what I
That part.
mean? Well, I don't think you gonna have that problem with Jadeveon Clowney because he's good against the run just as well as he is rushing the passer. And DJ Wonnum looks to be the same. So hopefully this will be a upgrade all the way around for the defensive line. And like
Mm-hmm.
I said, it looks good on paper right now. So we'll see when we get those live bullets start to flying.
Okay. And I wanted to, I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to ask, do you think with Jadeveon Clowney being on the coming off the edge, will that bolster our run defense a little bit? Because Brian Burns, great player, great edge rusher, can get to the quarterback, but at times to me, at times he was a wee
Mm.
bit of a liability as far as run defense. Okay. Do you think that will get better with Clowney?
I
Being on
think
that side.
Clowney Yeah, I think Clowney is a better run defender than Brian Burns, a more consistent run defender.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. With Jadavion, my knock on him was early in his career, he always stayed injured. You can
Mm-hmm.
never keep him on the field really, and then he was always commanding top dollar wherever he was. And to me, the money that he was commanding, the production on the field didn't match up simply because of his availability. Because I think it was a few years ago when he was a free agent before he went to Baltimore when he was leaving Cleveland. I was like, and I said it on the channel,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's worth what he's asking for. So I was definitely opposed to spending that kind of money. But, he wasn't asking for that much this time around. And I think the value for what we got him at, I think it was right on par. Um, for the production that he's able uh when for the type of production that he's able to give. Now I know it's about
Okay.
4 o'clock in the morning, so I'm kind of like rambling all over the place.
Hey, you
But
doing
yeah,
good, cuz you're doing good. Hey,
that's
wanted to
right, Rock.
welcome my
Appreciate it.
yes, sir. Wanted to welcome my good buddy C Doug from What's Up Doug. How you doing, sir?
Hey, I ain't claiming from the family no more. He said, "Buddy, what's up, big cuz Tony? You heard how CJ disrespected the family. You know I'm adopting in the family now, CJ."
Hold on.
Hey,
Okay,
yeah.
hold on. All
Hey,
right,
hey, friend.
mute
How are
yourself,
you?
Doug. Hold on. Mute yourself, Doug. Let me do it again. Let me do it again.
Hey,
All
hey,
right,
friend.
just wanted to welcome our third fan in the stand, our adopted cousin. Our brother from another mother, C Doug from What's Up, Doug. How you doing, cuz? Is that better?
What's going on, man? What's going
How
on,
you
man?
doing? How you
He
doing?
and he so He's so emotional, CJ. You know how he get, man.
Hey, well,
He's so
you know,
emotional.
you know what? I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. If you ask my wife, sometimes it's all about how it's introductions are key. Okay, introductions are key. They are important. So, Doug, I'm not mad at you. I apologize, my brother. Hey, okay, Doug, go ahead and give us your thoughts on our defensive line. And again, for everybody that's new to the channel, welcome. Thank you for joining. We're talking about the Panthers defensive line, and we're going to compare them to the rest of the NFC South. And we did add our outside linebackers in our 3-4 scheme to this group, since most of the time they will be rushing the quarterback. So, Doug, go ahead, give us your thoughts, bud. I'm sorry,
Uh,
cousin.
Nah, I'm gonna start with DJ Wanham. It's an area of concern. He was supposed to be able to do a little bit here and there during minicamp. Then he had a setback. I'm gonna give Tony his credit. Chase on at a Jacksonville Jaguars, I think, would take advantage of the opportunity right now. When you have a setback and the type of injury that he wasn't supposed to really have a setback because he was saying, "Hey, he's going to take it slow." Da 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 da. I don't know if it came from working out, doing conditioning, but he had a setback. So right
Mhm.
now, that room is very weak, just along with a couple of other areas on his defense. But when you have a DJ Johnson who was really a project and then he got hurt in minicamp, I'm just looking at
Hmm.
position as a whole. I know we got people and pitchers up here, but outside of Derek Brown, um, Shy Tuttle and Ashawn Robinson, I love it. It's a lot of question marks coming on the edge on those outside linebackers. I think Jadeveon Clowney does not need to be playing every single snap. He needs to be a rotational guy, keep them fresh.
Mhm.
One thing that I think is going to help with Shy Tuttle, one thing I like the relationship that you saw with Derek Brown. And one point that Derek Brown said is, "Hey, you've been in the film room, you've been watching film, you've been maneuvering through the film room, and film helps you." Um,
Yeah.
but one
Right.
thing on paper is good, but paper when it get wet, what it does crumbles or it's no good. On paper, we look good. I got seen in the
Mhm.
game. Right now, we're behind the 8 ball with injuries right now.
Facts.
Also,
Facts.
I know a lot of people got to remember you got Barno. Barno's coming off an ACL injury. So
Hurt.
really, three of your edges right now are injured, and Barno, Wanham, and DJ Johnson. So again, I know a lot of people talk about corner position, but just along with the corner position, your defensive end slash outside linebackers are very vulnerable right now. So we know when well, it's hot everywhere. One thing my mom makes me laugh this week is, Buster, don't say it's hot in Texas. I know it is, but it's hot everywhere. You got to condition well because those cramps are going to come, and if you're not conditioned right, you'll get a pull hemi. So I'm really praying for a full bill of health. Nobody gets injured because the end
Facts.
position is very fragile right now. Inside interior, I'm not worried about. You still got Thurman. Um, what's the boy that's from Alabama? The other boy that we got.
LeBron Ray.
Yes, thank you, Tony. So I'm not too
Mhm.
worried about the interior, the outerior on that line, and the 3-4 defenses. I'm more worried about.
Okay. Hey, now let me ask y'all this. A few things about this defensive line. Okay. So we got Shy Tuttle. And like I said, Shy Tuttle's about a peanut butter and jelly sandwich away from being under 300 pounds. All right. From the official numbers that I keep seeing everywhere. That's just my judgment call. Okay. All right. So now you got behind Shy Tuttle, you have Nick Thurman, who's 6'4", 305. Okay. Then behind him, you got our sixth round pick, Jaden Crumedy, who's 6'4", 309. Okay. So what I'm trying to get at is it doesn't seem like Evero in this defense wants a player at that nose tackle position that's more than about 305, 310 pounds. Oh Lord. I wasn't gonna say nothing. I wasn't
I
gonna
wasn't gonna
say
say
nothing.
nothing. I was trying. I was trying to let him live. I was trying to
I
let
wa-
him live. Hey, but dig
oh
it, dig it.
yeah, I wasn't gonna say nothing.
Since you done brought to the public, I mean, you done brought to the public.
Alteria.
Doug, dig want to know what is ulterior. Can you give us a definition and use it in a sentence, please?
Exterior. My apologies. My apologies.
Oh my God. Okay. Lord have mercy. Diggy, you threw my whole
Oh,
thought process off of that one, dog.
there you go, Dick. I
Yo.
hope that satisfies your yeah, answers your question.
Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. Well,
Look, I'll say
hey.
this, I made a new word up because in the 3-4, people want to
Uh-huh.
call them as D ends. So that's the reason why I call them outer D linemen, but it's actually
Yeah.
the exterior lineman. But I
Mm-hmm.
understand what he's saying.
I got you. Come on, Doug. You know we know we're gonna get you, Doug. You know we're gonna get
Yeah, like where's the energy? I don't appreciate that, brother. You like exterior, my bad.
No,
Nah,
no,
nah,
you know my
nah.
voice still go in and out. So that's the reason
you.
why I don't want to be coughing when I'm talking.
Oh, you good,
Oh
Doug. You good.
God, nah,
Okay,
you good.
but back to our nose tackle position. Okay, it doesn't seem like Evero wants anybody at that nose tackle spot who has some weight to him. Everybody we got is under 310, but you have our our quote unquote defensive ends like Doug said who are both over 320 pushing 330. Okay, so my question to y'all is, if Shy Tuttle doesn't, if he's not up to par this season to start off, how many games is it before they do something? And would you be opposed to? Because I know Derek Brown is not a true nose tackle. Ashawn Robinson already came out and said, "I ain't no damn nose tackle."
Right,
You know what I mean? So
and
like
he's not.
yeah, how much leeway do we give Shy Tuttle before we pull the cord on him? But the thing is, I don't know if it's technique. I don't know if he's a little light in the position because we have another a nose tackle, a true nose tackle in our division who's got to be all of about 350 something pounds. Down in Tampa Bay. But how much leeway do we give him? Because it's not like we got somebody behind him that's like, oh, okay, well, he's going to come in and he's more of a stout defender per se.
I think Evero showed us last year that the as far as the weight doesn't matter as much as being just a good run stopper and hopefully can create pressure up the middle and hold anchor. That's what you really want
Uh
from your nose tackles to be able to hold anchor. But then we signed two undrafted free agents. Pow Pow, I think the guy from I think it says his name right, out of
mm-hmm.
Oregon, and then we signed another guy out of Washington. I think he wants big guys that are athletic, that can move, that can be disruptive, cause disruption up the middle, hold anchor, so
Mm-hmm.
that's really important. That's like what I was saying last year with that 3-4. The stronger you are up the middle in a 3-4, the better your defense in a 3-4 is going to be. So meaning your nose tackle and your inside linebackers. If you can show up those two things and become more
Mm-hmm.
stout up the middle, your 3-4 defense is going to be good, and your outerior linebackers are going to flourish.
Hey, shout out to Red Swarm for the $5 super chat. We appreciate you. He said two
Appreciate it,
fans
Red.
understand. He said, Dougie, Tony trying to put that on dig it, but he started laughing the moment you said outerior. You wrong for that, Tony. I ain't gonna lie, I had to hold it in because when he said I did just like this, and I looked at my screen with my stats and stuff right.
Hey, I'm trying to be better, man. I'm trying to be better going into this 2024 season,
Mm.
Hey, yeah, I can't have my expressions, dog.
Hey, again, Red Swan, we appreciate you, man. Thank you for the super chat. All right. So, okay, and let me bring this up too. Now, you talked about our undrafted free agents. We got Popo,
Yeah, Popo.
Amave. Okay, so
Yeah, Popo Amave.
he's 315, and they have him at that left defensive end position. Okay.
Hey,
Then
if you think Popo is 315, I got a bridge in Charlotte. I'm gonna say,
hey, hey, I'm going by what I see here.
yeah.
Okay. So then you
Yeah.
got my man you said from Washington, Ulumu Ale or Ale, however you say it.
Yeah, something
He's
like that.
6'3", 227. All right. And they
Okay.
have him listed as the backup behind TJ. He's the third on the depth chart at the right defensive end spot. Okay. And like I said, you got
Mm.
Nick Thurman and Jaden Crumity as the second and third options at nose tackle. Like I said, and all of them are
Oh
under
wow.
310 pounds. I'm looking at ESPN here. I probably should be on the Panthers website, but they don't have the depth chart broke down as of yet. So that's why I'm on here. But it's like not he, but the Panthers they have their bigger bodies at those quote unquote defensive end spots, but everybody on our team that's playing that nose tackle is I don't want to say light and ass because they way more than I do, but you know what I mean. What you think, Doug?
I'm gonna say this. You know that depth chart is coming from David Newton, so I'm taking that with a grain of salt because I can't stand David Newton. So, but
Facts.
you can miss me with that one right now. Um, one thing I just have to see him in person. I gave Shao Tuttle a lot of hell last year for playing out of position, getting ran over, getting pushed back.
Hmm.
Um, one thing, like Tony just said, you're good as your the middle of your defense for a 3-4. So
Okay.
I really am expecting the meat and potatoes that we need some big bodies up front. One thing that we did bring in, excuse me, one thing we did bring
Bless
in
you.
is a lot of players that were good with run stopping grades. You
Hmm.
look at Jadavion Clowney, you look at Chasen, you look at a Josie Jewell, you look at a Fuller. All the people that we brought in, yes, they were familiar with the system, but they had great run stopping grades. One thing that was atrocious on this defense was our run stop. So I understand H.R. Robinson saying he doesn't play the nose, but
Hmm.
you were brought in for a reason, my brother. I don't know what it is, but you were brought in to actually play some type of position if it was a nose tackle. So I just have to wait and see again once they line up here on the 27th.
Okay. All
Well,
right.
let me
Gotcha.
let me just, I just pulled up something. Cam Hayward for the Pittsburgh Steelers when he came out of college, 6'5", 295. Cam Hayward is not a big dude, but
Hmm.
he's a very disruptive interior defensive lineman at nose tackle. He has been
Okay.
holding it down at the nose tackle position in Pittsburgh for I know 10 to 12 years. So that's why I
Hmm.
said a lot of teams I think are trying to create more pressure up the middle because the fastest way to the quarterback, quickest way to get a quarterback off his spot is up the middle. Okay?
Okay.
Not from the edge, but up the middle. So I think a lot of teams are getting more athletic, quicker, disruptive players up the middle at the nose tackle position. Vita Vea is like an outlier. You know what I'm saying? He's
Hmm.
in a class of his own. He's not only big at 350 plus, but he's athletic. He's disruptive up the middle. He can stop the run and he can get after the passer. So, and that's his natural position. Like you said, CJ, Derrick Brown is not a natural nose tackle. He's a three technique.
Hmm.
Ashawn Robinson is not a natural nose tackle. He's a three technique. Um, and they both flourish as a three technique. Now, when you go back and look at some of the highlights of a shot Tuttle when he came out of New Orleans, when we got him his last year in New Orleans, he played a little bit of nose tackle. You know what I'm saying? Some of the run
Hmm.
fit, some of the schemes that they had, he played nose tackle, and you saw him hold anchor. You know what I'm saying? Even though he's undersized as far as weight, I think just because he's shorter, you know what I'm saying, that creates a different level of leverage for a nose tackle. So I just say from that New Orleans highlight tape to what we saw last year, there was a vast difference, but between New Orleans and Carolina. But having Ashawn Robinson and everybody else that'll be surround him on that defensive line, I think he'll benefit from it. I hope he benefits from it. Let's say that.
Okay, cool. And I wanted to also get back to something that Doug brought up about injuries, because now DJ Woonham isn't ready to go. Amari Barno's coming off an injury. DJ Johnson got hurt at OTAs, even though I think they said that he may be okay. So these guys staying healthy is key, because behind Woonham and behind Clowney, like I said, we got Barno, DJ Johnson. Let me see who was the other one. Caleb Von Chason and Echo
Yeah,
Leota. So health is key. All right, health is key. All right, so
it
now like I said,
is.
I don't have any slides for the rest of the division. Okay, but since our good buddy Blue Swarm is in here, sorry Red, we'll go ahead and start with the Falcons first. Okay, so you have Zach Harrison, David Onyemata, Grady
Blue
Jarrett,
Swan.
and they run 3-4 as well. So we'll add Arnold. I think it's Ebikiti, and Caden Ellis. Okay, and they do not they lost big what's the man name, was it Calais Campbell when
Yeah,
he went
Calais
to,
Campbell's
yeah,
in Miami.
Calais Campbell
Yeah,
went to Miami, and I think they also lost Bud Dupree. If I'm Yeah, Bud Dupree.
yeah, they lost
Okay,
Bud Dupree.
so you have David Onyemata, 4 sacks, 11 pressures. Oh, yeah, okay. Thank you, Austin. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. Calais Campbell. All right. So you have David Onyemata. He had six. Calais Campbell had 6.5 sacks for them last year. He's gone. Bud Dupree, 6.5 sacks. So that's 12 sacks gone from that team last year. Let me see. Arnold Ebikiti. I hope I'm saying that right. He had 6 sacks. Caden Ellis had 4. David Onyemata had 4, and Lorenzo Carter had 3, and Grady Jarrett had 1.5. All right. And again, like I said, as a team, okay, as a team, they had 42 sacks, which was 15 more than the
Okay,
Panthers. And that's everybody, not including these guys.
right.
All right, and as a team, they also had 148 pressures, but most of these pressures that I speak of came from these guys on this defensive line, and including their outside linebacker slash edge rushers. Okay, so anything stands out to you about the Falcons defensive line, Tony and Doug?
Go ahead, Doug.
For me, um, I'm gonna talk about how everybody thought they were going to get Verse out of Florida State. One thing that Atlanta
Mm,
Falcons fans thought they were going to get defense of rookies to come in with veterans and have a great mix on that defense. Um, if my brother Red is in the chat, Red would definitely agree with me. We had an argument about their team drafting defensive players and not going to get Michael Penix. One thing
mm,
also is when they went and reached for the young man out of Clemson, everybody was wondering why go reach. Sometimes people's boards fall the way they do, but one thing that I am interested in seeing is how this defense plays out, because I still think there are holes, just like there are holes in the Carolina Panthers. But one thing that
Mhm.
the Falcons are going to regret is how they drafted in this past year's draft with how they could have helped that defense. Um, I said losing Kadeus Campbell. That's okay, because he was
mm.
more like a vocal leader. He wasn't that player that was just what he was when he was at Jacksonville. I still think Jared is a beast. Um, they have
Facts.
pieces there, but again, they could have made that defensive line a lot scarier based off of this past year's draft. So it is what it is, and I'm not really too worried about it.
Okay.
So I think everybody believed that Michael Penix move was a reach. Now I know how they tried to explain it and try to dress it up, but like you said, Doug, I think there were some other holes on the team that they could have addressed for the immediate future. You just signed Kirk Cousins to that big contract to come to Atlanta, then you spend the eighth overall pick in the draft on a quarterback. Now, I know it's always imperative to have a quality number two quarterback, whether that's your rookie that you're bringing in or a veteran, someone with veteran presence. But still, they could have done a number of things that could have been beneficial to them this year at the on the defensive side of the ball instead of on the quarterback, in my opinion.
Okay. All right. Facts. 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 All right. Let's move on to the New Orleans Saints. Okay. You have Cameron Jordan and Carl Granderson as the defensive ends, Nathan Shepard and Colin Saunders as their two interior defensive tackles. Okay, Carl Granderson is coming off of a year where he had 11 sacks. All right, Big Cam Jordan only had two sacks. All right,
Oh,
let
you
me
only had
see.
two?
Let me see. Make sure I got my numbers right. Yeah, yep, two
Dang.
sacks. Yeah, two sacks last year. All right. And he played all 17 games. Now, let
Were they
me
both against Carolina?
hey,
I'm
probably
just,
so.
I
Probably
was just
so.
wondering. I was just wondering.
There. Now, when it comes to the Saints, okay, so Carolina had 27 sacks last year. The Saints only had 34. All right, so they only had seven more sacks
Mm,
than we did. When it comes to pressures, 122. So they had let me see, about 22 more QB pressures than we had. All right.
right.
Um, I know the Saints hope that Cam Jordan will bounce back and have a better season because if you get Cam Jordan, in his old form, not something like he's a, old, but he's been in the league a few years. But if you get Cam Jordan from a few years ago and Granderson have another season like he did last year, that's a formidable duo down in New Orleans. Okay. And I think last year they had Brian Brees, a man that they drafted out of
Out of
Florida
Clemson.
State. Clemson. Sorry, Clemson.
Yeah,
I'm thinking.
Clemson. Brian
Never mind.
Brees.
My bad. I'm thinking about the guy that came out of Florida State this year. I'm sorry. Okay. So what's the old man name?
Braden Fisk. Braden
Fisk. There
Fisk.
you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The Brian Brees. But like I said, on this depth chart here, it has Nathan Shepard ahead of Brian Brees. And then you have Colin Saunders. Okay. So Doug, Tony, your thoughts on the Saints defensive line?
Go ahead, Doug.
All right, first before I get into um, the Saints D line, forget
Hmm.
Cam Jordan. He's overrated. I can't stand Cam Jordan. Out of every player in the division, he is public enemy number one. I think he's very overrated. He's up in age now. Um, Size does mean something when you do play against certain defense. Certain offensive linemen. But for me, um, I like Reese. I like his whole story with his sister. That when he was at Clemson,
Yeah.
I love his game. I love his intangibles. Just the nastiness that he has going in the game. Um, Really and true. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know who got hurt, but I know one of their ends got hurt during all-season workouts, and he tore something. I want to say it was ACL or something in the knee. So we need to look at that because one of their starters, I don't know if he was a starter or rotational guy, but he was supposed
Hmm.
to be, being a bit piece for the Saints this year. Really and truly, their defense is old. I'll put more respect on Atlanta's defense. Again, like I said, even though they still have holes, um,
Hmm.
it's boom or bust for the New Orleans Saints on offense and defense. They
Okay.
didn't get any younger. Um, again, uh, it's nothing nice. I can say more good about Atlanta and Tampa than the Saints. I think the Saints are just aging. It's boom or bust, boom or bust for them. So I'm more afraid of Atlanta, or I'll put Atlanta's D line above the Saints. There's nothing really outside of Cameron Jordan. They really don't have anything. I do think Reese is a sleeper. He did
Hmm.
get the opportunity that he should have gotten coming out last year, but I do like his game, so I'm really ready to see what what he can do coming into a year. I think this is his second year of what he can do. So
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Facts.
Um.
Go ahead, Tony.
Yeah. I think great. Granderson is the best player on that defensive line now for the Saints. I think Cam Jordan. Of course, he's on the downside of his career. He's still productive. I think he can help you more in the run game than he does in the pass game. Um, as far as their interior defensive line, I don't really know too much about those guys in the interior. I just know that they have a very aggressive attacking style defense. So, when we talk about smaller players, or smaller defensive linemen, say around 305, maybe 310 pounds. A lot of those guys are aggressive, heavy hands, disruptors, just like we saw last year with Brian Thurman
Mm-hmm.
for Carolina and LeBron Ray. They're not the biggest of guys, but they're disruptive, athletic, and they violent hands, and they can cause pressure on the quarterback. And they were better than expected in the run game when they had the opportunity to step into the limelight. But as far as the Saints defense, like C. Dougie said, they old. Especially when you start talking about Cam Jordan. I don't think they had that same fear factor in them like they've had in the past. Granderson last year was taking Icky to the woodshed, out behind the woodshed, and we just give him the good old fashioned behind the tree whipping last year in both games. He was just, man, every time it seemed like whenever he lined up across from Icky, it was a problem. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Taylor Moton has never been his worst games, in my opinion, have been when he's had to face Cam Jordan. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
Cam Jordan really gave Taylor Moton that work. Not saying that he didn't give it to everybody else, but just him and just him against the Panthers, he always gave Taylor Moton problems. And like I said, Granderson, he just owned Icky last year in both games. So just based off of that, facing us, they were probably a little bit better than
Mm-hmm.
against us than against the rest of the teams that they played last year.
Okay. All right. Facts. All right, so let's move on to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Okay, and you got our guy I was talking about earlier. You got Big Vita Vea anchoring their nose tackle position. Okay, and he has Kalijah Clancy and Logan Hall on either side of him, and they also run a 3-4. So they have Yaya Diaby. I hope I'm saying that right, and
Yeah, yeah,
Joe
that's right.
Tryon Shoyinka, or however you say it, Joe
Yeah.
Tryon. That's what I'm gonna say, Joe Tryon, as their as their edge slash edge rushers. Okay. Me personally, I know we're gonna rank them here in a second. I would probably go ahead and put, this defensive line right now at number one. Um Tampa Bay over the years has been a very hard defense, to run on. I think it was probably not that much. That was the case. That was not that. Excuse me. That was not so much the case last season as it has been in seasons prior. But you still got
Right.
Big Vita Vea there, who's still playing at a good level. Let me see, Kalijah Clancy. He had 4 sacks last year. Also of note, Shaquille Barrett is not on the team anymore. Okay, Shaquille Barrett has moved on. I think didn't he go to Miami as well? Let me
Yes,
see.
I
Yep,
believe so. Yeah.
yep.
We
Shaquille
went to
Barrett
Miami.
is with the Dolphins. Okay. Let me see. Joe Tryon, he had 5 sacks. Vita Vea had 5.5 sacks. Crazy enough, the second leading sack person on the team was Antoine Winfield Jr. Who is the safety.
Mm.
But not defensive line. Okay. Let me see. And who is the other one? Logan Hall. Logan Hall. Logan Hall. Logan Hall. I don't know if he came in this year. Is he a rookie?
No, he
No,
wasn't a rookie. I think last year was his second or third year.
yeah, he had 2.5 sacks last year. Okay,
Yeah.
two and a half sacks. All right,
I think he went to
fellas.
Houston. He came out of Houston, if I'm
Yeah,
not
Houston.
mistaken. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, fellas, y'all thoughts on the Bucks defensive line before we move on.
The
All right. This is the first time I will say the Bucks have had a lot of turnover on their defense as a whole.
Yeah.
When you lose a Devin White to the Eagles, you already said Shat Berry went to the Miami Dolphins. Um, somebody else, another key player on that defense. One thing you will see is can they plug and pull um,
Mm-hmm.
on that defense? Can they can they do what Carolina's doing? You bring in people and see if your defense can improve. Outside of that, even though that they've lost players, Via Vea right now is the best defensive player in the NFC South on the defensive line. I will put Derek Brown probably two on the
Mm-hmm.
defensive line, but he's not better than Via Vea. Via Vea is a man amongst boys. Can take on double teams and still get a sack. Um, even when him not having a helpmeet or a teammate that can help him, he had 5 sacks. What CJ just said. So,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, if we do rank them, I would put the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as a unit for the D line, number one. And surprisingly, I'll put Carolina at number two. I really like, the conversations CJ and Tony and myself have been having about Ashawn Robinson, what he means to Derek Brown. If you look at his run stop grade and him taking on double teams, he was top five, top 10 in both of those categories. So,
Mhm.
again, on paper is one thing, but production in games is what we have to see. You can look good on paper, but again, it has to be production in games where we can say, oh, this unit as a whole is better than last year, or this unit is a true top top 10 defense. So
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's hard for me to put Vita Vea over Derek Brown if I'm just basing it off of last year. Now we talking about, you know, as their career as a whole. Yeah, I would say Vita Vea has had a better career thus far than Derek Brown. I think Vita Vea has definitely been more consistent ever since his rookie year. And 5.5 sacks from a 350 plus pound nose tackle is nothing to sneeze at. That means not only is he a run stopper, not only will he tear your double team apart, not only will he destroy a single block, you know, when it comes to between him and the center, but
Mm-hmm.
he's getting after the quarterback. The big man can move. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said he's an outlier. You know what I'm saying? There's not many other than Dexter Lawrence with the Giants. You know, but I still don't think Dexter Lawrence gets to the quarterback like Vita Vea. I think Dexter Lawrence is more disruptive up the middle. But as far as having the total package, on the defensive line, stopping the run and rushing the passer, I think that's what separates Vita Vea from any other interior defensive line. Well, let me say nose tackle, because Chris Jones does his thing up in Kansas City, whether it's stopping the run or rushing the passer. But just from a nose tackle position, yeah, I think Vita Vea is in a class of his own. Uh, Clancy. I so much wanted us to draft Kalijah Clancy coming out of Pitt. I know there was a lot of rumblings when he was in school. That was Aaron Donald's 2.0. I know he trained with Aaron
Mm-hmm.
Donald's during the off seasons while he was in college. I'm pretty sure he probably still do as a pro. If you look at the measurables, I don't have them with me right now, but coming out of college, they were about literally the same. And CJ, I know you probably remember him well because he was just destroying Carolina
Yes, he
Tar
was.
Heels when he was in college, and everybody kept saying that's Aaron Donald 2.0. That's Aaron Donald 2.0. Now he may not be there yet, but
Hmm.
I think with time and more playing experience, I think he can get there. Now I'm not saying that he can reach that height because Aaron
Hmm.
Donald again.
Aaron Donald.
Yeah, he's 1-1. But if you want to talk about somebody that can be a clone to that,
Hmm.
close to it, Kalijah Cancer reminds me a lot of Aaron Donald. And then just to go back, if you remember John Randall that played for the Vikings. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying? He
gotcha.
undersized defensive tackle, but was a headache for anybody. I don't care if you played center guard or tackle. He was a problem all day long. So yeah, he gives me those vibes, man. And Kalijah Clancy had a really good year last year. Joe Tryon coming out of Washington, he had a great college career up in the Pac-12.
Hmm.
So you're starting to see his game um, match the production that he had in college. I think he's been consistent, but he's been consistently getting better little by little each year that he's been in the league. So yeah, those guys, yeah, if we had to rank them right now, I would have to definitely put Tampa Bay line number one, hands down.
All right. Well, go ahead and give you your full ranking for the South, 1 through 4.
Tampa Bay 1, Carolina 2, Atlanta 3, New Orleans 4.
Okay. And Doug, I know you gave yours, but I forgot how it went. What was your ranking for
Same as
the
Tony.
same?
Same as Tony.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna be I'm gonna be a little bit of a pessimist on this one. I'm gonna go Tampa Bay 1. I'm gonna go Falcons 2. Um, I'm going to I'm going to put
What?
Carolina 3, and I'm going to put New Orleans at 4, because my thing is I gotta see it first. On paper, on paper, I feel like we're number 2, but there's too many injuries. The injury factors to put in for
Right.
me. If Woonham doesn't,
That's true.
get right, God forbid something happens to the Clowney, our edge rush is done. Okay, I'm just go ahead and say that right now. If something happens to DJ Woonham and something happens to Davion Clowney, our edge rush is kaput. Okay,
All right. So can I ask
it,
you a question, CJ, real quick?
go
How much
ahead,
how
Doug.
much confidence do you have in chasing? Because we've all said on here when we got him. I know you
Hmm.
guys talked about free agent signings. Um, he's not a 4-3 outside linebacker. Well, he's not a hand. Let me say it backwards. Let me.
Hand in the dirt, gotcha.
He's not a hand in the dirt type of DN. He's a stand up
Yeah.
outside DN slash outside linebacker. So,
Mm.
um, do how much confidence do you have in him? Where I've even heard that um, Evero's defensive scheme is player friendly to
Hmm.
their scheme fits. So, how much confidence do you even have in a chasing if Wanham is not available?
As of right now, 0. I ain't got no confidence in him right now,
Okay.
because to be honest with you, I've got to see what he does against somebody first.
Okay.
Because I mean he's not a real big dude. So, and he was, if I'm not mistaken, he wasn't a first round pick from the Jags out of
Yes, he
LSU.
Yep,
was. Yes, he
LSU.
was.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
He
first,
was
first,
first round pick out of LSU. That's the year
yeah,
LSU took over the draft after winning the Natty.
yeah.
gotcha, gotcha.
But
Okay.
at the same on that with Caleb Chase, and I think what really hurt him is that he played out of position.
Hmm.
He came from a basically like a 3-4 hybrid in LSU to a team that was running like a 4-3 in Jacksonville. So I don't think he played that hybrid slash off ball linebacker slash edge rusher when he was at LSU. And I think in Jacksonville, they tried to make him play more of a defensive end, put his hands in the dirt, and that wasn't his game. He's used to coming off the edge and playing the middle of your defense in that 2-point stance. So I think that was kind of a hindrance to his game. We always talked about for it doesn't matter who you are or what you did in the college level. If you're not put in the right scheme, offensively or defensively, you're not going to see the same type of production being the same type of player because that doesn't fit your skill set. So
Mm,
you have to try to get guys that fit your scheme, that have production either in your scheme or somewhat close to your scheme. 3-4 edge rusher is not the same as a 4-3 defensive end. It's not. It may look like it may seem like it, and there's only a handful of guys in the league that can excel at both positions.
gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. All right. Well, that has been our spill on our defensive line and our, sort of spill on the rest of defensive lines on in the NFC South. Now, mind you, we're getting through that kind of quickly, but like I was saying, I would have us at 3. I'd have Tampa and Atlanta above us, and then the Saints below us. But my putting us at 3 is mainly because on paper it looks great, but I got to see it on the field first. Got to see it on the field
Right.
first. Okay. All right. So now let's get into our next subject. Okay, and everybody saw it on the thumbnail, and I wanted to ask Panther Nation. Okay, everybody saw what happened with Bryce Young last year. Okay, and we're kind of entering the Bryce Young sweepstakes now as far as talking about Bryce Young. Okay, we didn't want to come up here and talk about Bryce Young every day. Okay, we mention them, we do talk about him, but now it's getting close to training camp. All right, now the rubber's meeting the road. Let's go ahead and talk about him a little bit. All right. So we saw the train wreck that he had last year. Whether you believe it was him, whether you believe it was him plus a myriad of factors around him, okay, whatever side of the spectrum you're on, okay. If you're a Panther fan, all right, you want Bryce Young to succeed in year 2 versus year 1. Okay.
Right.
But to everybody out there, what does a successful year 2 look like to y'all for Bryce Young? I heard a lot of people say, is it the stats? Okay. Does he have is it all about the stats? Is he throw over 3,000 yards? Is he get close to 4,000 yards? Is it more than 20 touchdowns? Less than 10 interceptions, or say less than 15 interceptions? Is it more about the record? Okay, if he puts up similar stats to this previous season, but the Panthers win more games, is that a successful year to y'all as well? Because I think some people are hell bent one way or the other. It's got to be this, or it's got to be that. I guarantee you, we could probably go out there and win 7 to 8 games, and Bryce Young have numbers similar to what he had last year, and we'll still get the, oh, he's a bust, this ain't working out. You get what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
asked the question to Panther Nation. All right. So Bryce Young, year 2, what is a successful season to y'all? Everybody, let me know in the comments. Okay, is it yards? Is it wins? Is it whatever to you is a successful year 2? Let me know. Tony, Doug, y'all go ahead.
Go ahead, Doug. Floor is yours, sir.
All right, I'm gonna say this. I ain't even gonna go games. Let's talk about
Mm,
practice. How does that footwork look first? One thing that was
okay.
very terrible throughout Bryce was his footwork. We can talk about games all we want. The little things matter when it comes to games. Footwork.
Facts.
One thing that Bryce was terrible on was not standing in the pocket and kind of slanting back, trying to throw a pass. One thing that we all can tell the difference is his footwork looks very improved. Um, One thing that I think will help also is you've seen NFL blitzes, you've seen NFL type of schemes against you. Um, Diagnosing a play. We saw really kind of sort of, you could say after the Tennessee game, Bryce looked good, but then he still had bad moments. Um, what else for me? I know people are going to say wins and stats. Those do come into play, but it's the small things that you can tell. Bryce Young is still Bryce Young. He didn't help himself with how he played, meaning his footwork, um, bad decision making when it came to throws and etc. But if we're going to talk about going into 2024, it'll be footwork and mechanics. The small things change. You brought in weapons to actually help him with the separation and etc. But if the mechanics, the throwing mechanics, and the footwork go hand in hand, you'll see a different
Mm-hmm.
Bryce Young quickly.
Okay, Tony, what you got?
Yeah, I'm right along with Doug. Um, in that sense, his footwork definitely. Being acclimated to the scheme, getting the playbook down pat, which I don't believe he will have a problem with doing. Um, I'm not going. I'm just going to stick strictly with Bryce because it's easy to go off and start talking about other things around him, but we're just talking strictly for Bryce. So yes, I want to see him regain the confidence that he possibly lost last year. Okay, I want to see him get his confidence back. He looks a little bigger, not much, but he looks a little bigger this year than he did last year. So putting on a little size, a little weight would be good for him. Um, but yeah, definitely his footwork. Hopefully, with the added muscle and strength, maybe he has a stronger arm. I know that was a knock on him last year. It's always been a knock on him coming out of Alabama that he didn't have an NFL elite arm strength, which I can
Mm-hmm.
agree with. He was never known for having elite arm strength, but it was more about the accuracy, the decision making, the anticipation of throws. You definitely want to see him get better at that. You want to see what you saw at Alabama. You want to see the things that made him a Heisman Trophy winner. You want to see the things that he possessed that led Alabama to a national title. Okay,
Okay.
so how he bounces back from that debacle of a season last year, that's going to be the telling story of it all. So with this new found offensive line, with the new scheme that Dave Canales is bringing in, that new positive energy, things of that nature. I hope that's all beneficial for Bryce Young heading into year two.
Okay. And as my wife so eloquently put here, so he can go out there and look like Chris Brown with the footwork, but they still have to win. I don't want to see a bunch of good looking losses. Hey, you know what?
Facts.
And I
That
can't
is fact.
disagree with that. I can't disagree with that at all.
That is
Okay.
big
Now
facts.
I'm gonna give my spill on this. Okay. What I think would be a successful year for Bryce, successful year two for Bryce. Okay. As Doug and Tony said, footwork. Okay. Get his footwork right. None of that, I'm throwing the ball and I got a clean pocket, but I'm going backwards and I'm doing jump throws. None of that stuff right there. Okay. Number two. All right. Now we know he doesn't have a Anthony Richardson type arm. He does not have a cannon. Okay, but he is more than capable of throwing the ball downfield. But his deep ball accuracy was not where we all would have wanted it to be last year. So I hope that's something that he's worked on in the offseason. If there's a play to be made downfield, put the ball where the receiver can catch the ball. Okay, and if he has a step or two on that defender that's open, he has to hit them, and they have to. Then the receiver does the rest. Okay, so downfield accuracy, I want that to. I hope that gets better for him. And another thing, I want Bryce to, and it's been this big thing about his leadership. Okay, Canals came out and said that he's not going to be a vocal leader, and half of Panther Nation shit they draws when he said that. You would have thought
Mm,
that the president drove off a cliff somewhere and they couldn't find him. You get what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it was just like, oh
yeah.
my God, he's not a vocal leader. Okay. And I mentioned this on our last live. There's different levels of leadership. Okay. What I want to see from Bryce Young, when we have a chance, game winning situations, go out there and lead this team, drive us down the field, put us in position to win more games. Okay. That's what I want to see out of Bryce Young. That's what I would think would make a successful year two for him. Okay, make the plays. Like you said, get the ball out quicker. If the receiver is open, go ahead and hit their receiver. And I want to see, and I think a successful year too also depends on how he fits in to Dave Canales' offense and how Canales will use him and his abilities. You know what I mean? Is it going to be a
Yeah.
lot of is it going to be a lot of dink and dunk? Is he going to throw a whole lot of routes downfield? Okay, so hold on, let me see what Blue Swarm said. He said, "Come on, Bryce did not lead Bama to a national champion, SEC championship, but that was Tua that won their truck." Well, I mean, shit. Tell me what national title Kirk Cousins led Michigan State to. I'll wait, but you know, and shoot, I seem to remember Michael Penix losing one last year as well. So hey, but yeah, I just want to see, like I said, his footwork, his deep ball accuracy, game time situations, as I like to call them. I want to see more game time situations. I want to see Bryce being able to go out there, put the team on his back per se, lead us down the field, and put us in a better position to be able to win some more games. Okay, that's what I think a successful year two would be for Bryce Young, because it's not always about the stats. You know what I mean? I mean, it is. Okay, don't get me wrong, it is. But look at Lamar Jackson. I think Lamar Jackson might have had like one 4,000 yard season, for throwing. And I know he is a running quarterback. He does 6, 7, 800 yards a season as a rusher. Okay, but
Right.
it's not always about whether he can go out there and throw for 4,000 yards, 35 touchdowns. Which I ain't gonna lie. Last year this time, that was my prediction. I thought Bryce Young was going to throw for 4,000 yards and at least 25 touchdowns. And we all see that, I'm definitely not a psychic, and you should not ask me for any kind of future advice on anything, because I was dead ass wrong. Okay, but
Yeah.
I just think, if he keeps, get 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 this offense down pat, the fundamentals of Dave Canales' new offense. You see him putting in work with his wide receivers out there in California. They're out there, they're training. Bryce Young may not be a vocal leader, but there's other ways to show leadership, on your team and in life as a whole. Okay. A lot of people were saying, you either born a born leader, or you're not. I can tell you from personal experience, I was not born a leader. Okay, but I got put into leadership roles, and I had to learn how to lead people. And I had to figure out what was best, for my sake, as far as being a leader, and for the people that I was leading. But that's all yet to be seen with Bryce, and we'll see how this season plays out. But yes, but that would be my take on Bryce Young having a successful year two. Um, and you know what? And I will say this: we got to win more than two games. Okay, let me not leave
Oh
out here
yeah,
without saying
definitely.
that we got to win more than two damn games. We got to win more than three. Hell, we got to win more than four, and I can keep on going. Okay, but
Yeah.
yes, we wins. We've got to win. Now, mind you, if we go out there and we win the division, great. Not saying that we are, but like I always like to say, what if? It's always a possibility. If we go out there, win, great. But that win total has to you start ticking in the right direction as well. It's not going to be a successful season if Bryce Young goes out there and eclipses 3,000 yards, throws 20 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, and we still win two damn games. That's not a
No.
successful year two for Bryce Young at all
Yeah.
whatsoever. Yeah.
But you know what? Just to piggyback off what you just said, if that was the case, so say Carolina shit the bed again as a team, right? 2-15. I'm just speaking hypothetically. 2-15, but Bryce had better passing yards, better touchdown to interception ratio, better completion percentage, and things of that nature. Is that not a
Mm-hmm.
successful season for him? Even though it would be a letdown as far as a team, because if we asking what would be a successful season just for him, will we just are we just looking at his numbers and not the team as a whole. Because you can have a successful season individually. Say JC Horn goes out there and make the Pro Bowl and have 7 interceptions next year, but the defense still ranked in the bottom 10. You know what I'm saying? Is that a
Hmm.
successful season for JC Horn? Probably so, but
Yeah.
not for the defense as a whole. So would that be the same? Would Bryce Young be given that same leeway when we try to compare his stats as opposed to the win total for the team?
Um, it is my assumption from Panther Nation. Bryce Young is getting no leeway for anything. Okay, that's just my assumption. And when I say wins, okay, now the defense was ranked as like the number, oh, was it 4 ranked defense as far as total yards per game. Okay, I don't think that was a total representation of our defense and some of the struggles that we did have last year as far as being able to stop the run. They were forced into some short field situations, but they weren't able to stop the run. They didn't get a lot of pressure on the quarterback, didn't get a lot of sacks. The opposing quarterbacks were very comfortable the majority of the game against our defense. Okay, but my thing is, if Bryce Young goes out there and he has what we all want to call a successful season, the offense is moving. Okay, the offense is moving. The receivers are getting open. The offensive line is blocking. The running backs are running. But it just say that the defense is not up to snuff. Now, I mean, you can't really put that on Bryce Young if all that pans out the way I just said it. Now, mind you, there are
Right.
going to be some out there that will probably put it on him no matter what.
No matter
There are
what.
those that it's Bryce Young. Okay, it's Bryce Young. He's out there by himself. He's throwing the ball. He's catching the ball. He's kicking field goals. I know if Nakari was here, he would love to hear me say that he would be kicking field goals instead of Eddie P. you know, but I don't believe Panther Nation is gonna give him much leeway. And I got to kind of I got to kind of join in that in a sense. Now, mind you, I'm not going to sit here and totally blame him for everything that's clearly not his fault. But there are certain things that he has to do and has to step up in certain situations. And Red Storm,
Yeah.
thank you for another $5 super chat, brother. He said, I
Appreciate you,
have y'all
Red.
going 6-11. Would you consider that a successful season for y'all? If things are trending in the right direction, the record is one thing. Okay, record is one thing. But if the team as a whole is playing better, like I said, the line is blocking, receivers are getting open. The defense is able to stop the run. Okay, that was a thing that burned me up last year. It was our run defense.
Mhm.
But
But to go from 2-15 to 6-11, that will be trending in the right direction, don't you think?
Yeah, it would. It would. But
Mhm.
I mean, maybe I'm overthinking it, but it's just like, how has that 6-11 looked? Okay, is that a six
Mm.
and eleven that's going to bode well going forward for the next season, or is that a 6-11 where we got lucky, caught some teams on some bad days, but we still got a whole lot, a whole crap ton of work to do as far as the next season, or is that a 6-11 where we might be, a couple pieces away from going 11-6? So that's why I
Well,
say
six
it
and
depends.
11. Yeah, well, 6-11. I think 6-11 will fall into every category that you just mentioned. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? There's nothing to write home about, especially when you come off a 2-15 season. But it to me, it would definitely show a level of improvement. We talking about
Hmm.
that's a 4 game improvement over the season before when it looks like everything, you just want to throw in the dumpster. Okay. So 6-11, yes, I would take that. And what it would look like, of course, we don't know exactly, but one thing I can say for certain, I know for sure it's gonna look better than that 2-15. If we
True.
finish 6-11, that 6-11 is gonna look better than that 2-15. Now, however
Hmm.
you want to slice it, that still remains to be seen. But a upgrade in win total,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I would take that. And that's the thing about the National Football League or pro sports period. Even when you're not picked to beat a team or to win on a particular Sunday, and you find a way to win, or you can steal a game or two here, there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? I'll take that. That happens
Mm-hmm.
every week in every season since since football was invented, whether it's high school, college, or pros. Somebody's always stealing the game that they shouldn't have won. You know what I'm saying? So that's why they say any given Sunday or Saturday or Friday night. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, if you can go out there, you can still a win against a
Mm-hmm.
team that you probably was a heavy underdog favorite, heavy underdog. I ain't gonna say favorite, but a heavy underdog or wasn't
Mm-hmm.
expected to win. I think
Yeah.
that's a good thing. I think
Okay.
that's a good team. Yeah.
Doug, what
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 you
you
say
think,
about six
Doug?
and 11?
For me, I know my guy Ray always talking about 6-11, but I really think we can win possibly 8 games. As we know, this division is always um, up for grabs. Really and truly, outside of the Falcons fans' expectations, who really thinks the division is theirs? Nobody really. You never know. One thing that I will say is um, Tampa Bay has a new offensive coordinator. Atlanta Falcons have a new head coach. The New
Mm-hmm.
Orleans Saints have a new offensive coordinator. So everybody has to learn a different scheme. Some teams may
Mm-hmm.
have better players for that scheme. So again, like I said, 8 wins is for me. One thing that I also need everybody to allude: Bryce didn't play offensive line. CJ used to say this all the time. He wasn't blocking for himself whenever he was throwing the ball. He wasn't catching the ball whenever he was throwing the ball. This is not backyard football. This is basically Bryce doing everything that he needs to do. Um, One thing I think, again, when you look at the type of system that we're going to run, you have two guards that are going to help those run lanes. Chuba Hubbard was not the starter. He only almost had 1,000 yards. So,
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, there's a lot of blame to go around. You had a offensive line coach that was not coaching. He was basically the snitch of the coaching staff. So, um, I really think
He
clean
didn't he
house.
didn't know how to regulate his duties. I'm sorry, I had to get that in there.
Trust me, it was bad. But I really think with the alignment and assignment that we have, I know a lot of people are worried about Dave Canales. I love the way he's brought coaches around him that speak the same way he does and think the same way. So, um, I'm
Facts.
saying just because of that, again, that's that on paper topic that
Mm-hmm.
you have to prove it. And really and truly, for me, I think it starts um, is that week 2 during joint practice with the New York Jets. I'm not even going to go into
Right.
the season. I'm going to go into that joint practice. I'm so happy I'll be able to have the opportunity to be there to see it in person. And then if it's not a good showing from joint practice to week 1, I need to see something because I'll be at both experiences there in practice, training camp, and week 1 when you get the season off in NOLA. So um, I really think week 1 would definitely we will know a lot about this team, win or lose. You'll know the competitiveness, you'll know the togetherness, and you'll know how the season will go off based off of week 1. I honestly feel like we will know that.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
wanted to get back to this one comment here.
Puff
I ain't
puff
gonna lie,
puff 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 again.
this perplexed me, but I figured it out. Our neighbors are shooting fireworks off. And I ain't gonna lie, I thought my wife was on the other side of the wall hanging something because I kept hearing doom, 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 doom. And I was like, well, she must be putting something up, but obviously she's not. So yeah, okay, my bad. Go ahead, Tony.
Now I'm gonna say what Dickens said. Hey Doug, you need a puff puff give, man. Pass it around, dog. Don't be keeping the good stuff to yourself, my boy.
I don't know where it's coming
Hey,
from.
we
I got to
we know where you just came from Vegas. Don't try it brand new. Don't I don't know how you got through through TSA, but yeah,
Well,
we got a rotation around here.
well, I got a breathing machine. Like once we get off, I might go sit right up on that front room and get underneath that breathing machine because it comes and goes, man. It comes and goes. I don't know where it's coming
I,
from.
I apologize, man. Diggy got me acting crazy. That's Diggy fault. You gonna blame it on Diggy. My fault, Doug. My fault, my brother.
Mhm. Hey, but I wanted to
Diggy should be ashamed of himself.
I wanted to get back to Swarm's comment, and he says, "Facts, Tony. Fans, not just Panther fans, don't have patience to build a team the right way. It takes a couple seasons. It doesn't happen overnight. Overnight." And when I was saying about, he asked about 6-11, and I was saying, how does that 6-11 look? Now, if we win 6 games and all of them were won, kind of like we won the 2 games last year, where it was not the best of games, especially the Atlanta game. And sorry, Swarm, I'm not just saying that because this is your comment, but that was one of the games that we won. It was ringing. But if all of those games are low scoring, a defensive battle, we can't muster up but 3 or 4 field goals and maybe one touchdown. Are some of those wins where we go out and actually dominate our opponent, or for a portion of that game, are we the stronger team? You get what I'm saying? That's what I
So you
mean
talking
by how
about
the 6-11.
more or less the style of play is what
Yeah,
what,
I'll
what
take
you want to see
I'll
the
take six
difference.
and eleven all day. I'll
Right,
take six and
right.
eleven, and I think that's a successful season. But me personally, me trying to analyze it, I want to see how that 6-11 looks. Like how did those
Got you.
six wins look, basically? Yeah,
Got you. Got you. Okay.
yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Look,
Mr.
dog said
Hunky.
same here in my neighborhood. It's starting early. Yes,
Well,
sir.
Mr.
Hey,
Hunky
let me.
Dory said
He said no puff puff fast on the
facts.
government job,
That,
dog.
that that's facts. That's facts.
Hey, Tip Drill Will, what's going on, man? Hey, thank you
Tip
for the
Drill
$10
Will, what's
super
going
chat.
on?
He said this type of smart, level-headed conversation is why I rock with y'all. Keep pounding, fella. Hey, preach. Hey, keep pounding, man.
My
Keep pounding.
hey, my guy. Hey, Will,
Yeah,
and man,
man.
you gotta come join us on the panel more often, man. It was a pleasure having you. What was it, last Wednesday? Or was
Yeah, I
it
think it was
Saturday?
last.
I
It might
think
be
it was
Saturday.
last, maybe
Yeah,
Saturday. But
I
yeah,
don't
it
know.
was
One of
good
them
having
days.
you on, brother. So hey man, come chop it up with us at any time.
Yeah, appreciate you. But yeah, man, it's going to be interesting. And Doug, I will say this: I'm not even waiting to that damn joint practice before I start. Week 1 of the preseason, we go to New England. Like I said, last year when we played the Jets, their second string defense winning the game and teed off on Bryce Young. The second string, I still see my man. His last name was Huff, number 47. I still see him
Yeah,
on that
Brandon
second
Huff.
play. Putting Bryce Young about 3/4 of an inch in that turf. At Bank of America Stadium.
So
So, but go ahead, Doug.
I was trying to drink something before I talk. I'll say this. Reason why I say that Jets game
The
because
weed got him thirsty. My bad.
reason, reason why I say that is because when you
And your cough ain't making the situation any better. You need to find a mute button, my friend.
why you think I've been on mute so much? I know you see that mute button going on as soon as I get done. Oh, but I really think week 1 of preseason you should see a lot, but you're probably gonna see some mistakes. And reason why I say that is because you're going against another team outside of your team. Now, if we had joint practice with the New England Patriots, then I'll understand that. I'll definitely understand that. But
Hmm.
that's the reason why I said that joint practice, you've already played the opponent. You can go in the film room and see what works for you before another opponent comes in. So
Yes.
that's the reason why I'm making that point of the joint practice. But I am with you as well. That New England Patriots game, you should be able to see a lot and learn a lot from this offense. There are going to be mistakes. Trust me, there are going to be mistakes. But I
Hmm.
definitely want to see what um, against the Jets going year 2, what we learn because we heard, Quentin Williams say he had almost, I forgot the outrageous number of sacks he said he had.
Like
But I
15
know
sacks.
what do you say? Doug over there eating ham salad.
Salads. Just cheesing.
I don't even eat ham, so that's why I'm laughing. I don't even eat
He
ham
got
pork.
he got the hey Dick, he got the munchies.
Boy, shoot. I'm telling
Hey,
y'all.
man, go
Look,
ahead, Doug, man. Don't pay them no mind. I'm
look,
sorry.
y'all gonna make
Hey,
me go put the machine on and y'all gonna say I'm Darth Vader then. So
hey, them edible cookies is a mug, ain't they?
no, sir. No, we don't do that.
Boy, y'all done made Tony take his damn glasses off. God
Oh
almighty.
God.
We don't
Oh,
do that.
Go
I am
ahead,
real
Doug.
life crying.
No, I'm telling y'all. But look, Tony know when I say this. I'm laughing at Quan.
Oh, I don't talk about Tony. No, I am not being a co-conspirator
Look,
in your situation.
no, this
You
situation,
use a lie. You use a
this
lie.
situation with getting disability, I'm so glad I got this cough because I did not have this before I left. I did not have
Mm,
this before I left. I don't know what I was breathing in. I know that's why I'm
mm.
laughing at Quan. That's where I saw that comment. Quan know I don't do that. He know I don't. He know I don't. So don't worry about it because look, y'all keep going on. I'm gonna go in that front room and put that machine on. Y'all gonna hear that buzzing sound going off with them vapes coming.
Oh God.
Keep it up.
Oh God.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Doug, man. He
I'm not
having the
doing
whole
nothing.
fit over
Hey,
here.
I'm glad Tony laughing. I'm
He
good.
having the whole
Let-
fit, man.
I'm trying to find my mute button, but I can't.
He can't. Now see, look. Now Tony telling himself Tony needs some more than me. He got that glaucoma going on right now.
Oh my goodness, Doug, you were trying to make a point, man. Go ahead, bro.
We good. It was the point I already made about training camp.
Okay, got you. All right, Lord have mercy. Look,
Oh
Miss On
hell,
Your
I thought
Door
I hit the
said,
mute. I thought I hit
please
the
don't
mute
break out the
button and wasn't
damn
muted.
You hear this man talk? I thought I hit the mute button and it wasn't muted. Boy, use us plum fool, man.
Oh
Oh God.
God, that's one of Tom Ham's fix.
Oh.
Y'all leave Tuck alone. Hey, nigga,
Oh
try to tell
What's going
you
on,
God.
what's
Nick?
good, man. How you doing, buddy?
What's good, Nick?
Oh, oh my God, yo. Lord Hammer said, watch out, he getting cranky. Let's birds in the
Who?
background.
Talk about-
Oh,
talk about-
nah, we not in
Yo,
Alabama. You don't hear no
boy,
birds in Texas.
Oh
boy.
God.
Oh my goodness. Look, Doug, he
Oh.
finally found the camera button.
Oh yeah. Nah, if he find that mute button,
Ah.
look, he found the mute
Ah,
button. Oh no, it's the camera button.
Oh.
I'll be back there laughing.
look, I could mute him, but he said he can't find the button. So if I do mute him, he might not be able to get back on here for the
Oh
rest of the
man.
life. Oh my goodness.
I'm
Hey,
good. I'm good.
hey, fellas, I appreciate that. This is a good show tonight. A lot of fun.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
and everybody that's still here, y'all go ahead and please like the stream for me if you haven't already. Got
Yeah.
33 likes. I would love to get that up as far as we can before we get up out of here. If you're new, again, welcome. All right. On your way out, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Check us out at all social media at Two Fans in the Stands, and as well on what we dub Twix. That's a mixture of Twitter and X. You can find us at Two Fans ITS. All right, and
Yeah.
also a big shout out to all of all of our supporters who've become members of the channel of our fan level. We definitely appreciate you. And if you haven't, if you want to, you can go to our main YouTube page and sign up to become a member of fan level. Right now, get you a few really cool emojis to use in the chat and some other stuff that we have coming up that we will put out in the near future. All right. Doug, Tony, y'all got anything you want to say before we get up out of here tonight?
Go ahead, Doug.
Uh, Nothing really. Like I said, I know Tony is bitten, is at the bit, ready to go ahead and announce what we got, but we're gonna probably wait till one more week and then just let you
Oh
guys.
no, I'm good.
Okay, okay.
No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm
Underneath
good.
man, everybody enjoy the fourth.
Hmm.
Like I said, everybody stay safe, stay out the heat, and if you are drinking, definitely have water, man. What Will say? I'm
Yes.
glad as well.
Mhm.
Here's Army. I will be in Germany mid-July for some meetings. Hey, that's what's up. Well, like I said, it'd be 15 years for
Okay.
me in February, man. So I definitely
That's what's
salute
up.
people that's you know did the man 30 years. That's a they can't get 30
Yeah.
years
Yeah.
right now. Uh,
Hey,
Hey.
shout out to you, Will. We got a fellow Panther content creator that's stationed in Germany right now. So shout out to Wiley. I'll be meeting Wiley in November in Germany because I'll be going to the Panthers and Giants game. So I ain't want to let the cat out the bag just yet, but we would definitely be bringing some great Panther content on behalf of two fans in the stands and Panther. I think Wiley's channel is it Panthers
Panther.
Talk Germany,
Uh,
something like that.
Panthers Germany. Hmm.
Yeah, Panthers Germany. So yeah, we definitely gonna bring you good content before the game, during the game, and after the game. It's November 10th is when the Panthers play the Giants in Munich, Germany, in Alliance Arena. So yeah, I will be there. Um, Also, we're going to be doing two giveaways. Okay, I haven't necessarily finished. I haven't really discussed it with CJ yet. We haven't finalized exactly how we want to do it, but I want to go ahead and make the announcement here on the screen. So we're trying to hit 2,000 subscribers. And so the first goal is 1,500. We're close to that one right now. So once we hit 1,500 subscribers, I'm gonna give a we're gonna give away a brand new pair of Galaxy Buds 2 earbuds, Samsung. Brand new, still in the box, ain't nothing used or nothing about it. We'll give this one away when we hit 1,500, and then I got another one here that we'll give away when we hit 2,000. So do us a favor, subscribe, turn those post notification bells so you become aware of whenever we drop whenever we give these away, and also will help if you're a member. Okay, so please sign up, become a member, and so you always be made aware. And we're going to give these earbuds away once we hit 1,500 and 2,000. So yeah,
Okay.
we'll get a chance, shoot me an email. Yeah, shoot us an email at two fans in the stands at gmail.com, and I'll touch bases with you.
Quan said, "Need those. My AirPods raggedy as hell right now." Hey, oh, and dig it. No update on Steve yet. I'm still actively trying to get a hold of him.
Yeah.
Still praying for him every day. And those of you that don't know, we had a guy comment one live stream, and he asked us to to keep him in our prayers because he was recovering from brain surgery, and I haven't heard any updates from him since he sent us something on Cash App, and I've been trying to locate him. Me and my wife have been trying to locate him. Trying to see if he is okay, but I don't have any updates on him yet. But as somebody who is had brain surgery myself back in October, I do feel for him, and I'm still trying to figure out if he is okay. But as he asks, I still pray for him all the time, and I encourage those of y'all that know the word of prayer, keep Steve in your prayers, and we pray
Yes,
for a
sir.
speedy recovery, and we pray that we'll find some information, on him soon. But appreciate you, Diggy, for
Right.
asking, man.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hey,
All right,
hey,
folks.
hey, Tony. Whenever you ship it, make sure you put some of that good ganja over in your packages because you know y'all got that good ooh wee I heard over there.
Oh no, no, that oh no, you that's a lie. You ain't hear about that over here. This is no fly zone over here. Don't even put that ether in the air. Don't even put that in the ether. I'm sorry.
Look, hey, Shannon, if you go to our main YouTube page, you can, and it might be somewhere in the chat
I
here
think it's right
too.
beside the subscribe button on the
You
YouTube
got to
Yeah,
go on
page. It says
desktop.
join.
You got to go
it
on
says
desktop.
join. Yeah, it says join. and we have one tier is fan level. It's 99 cents a month. So that if you want to join, we appreciate you. We definitely appreciate you.
Here they go.
Hey,
Got two
appreciate you, Red.
brand new pair right here.
Hey, I'm telling
Mm.
y'all, Big Cousin got something else up in them boxes, y'all. I'm telling you, you gonna get something
I
added with.
ain't we ain't letting it out. We ain't letting out the earbuds is enough. Because let me
Hey,
tell you something. Go ahead, CJ. Go ahead.
oh no, Doug, I was going to say, I'm gonna help you out a little bit right here. You know, because Tony and Diggy and the boys, they've been getting you, they've been getting you this episode. They've been getting you this episode. So Tony, I will say this, all right. When you go to the game in Germany, and when
Uh-oh.
you're taking videos, I want you to remember, if you pull the phone up and you see yourself on the screen, you got to hit the button to turn the camera around to the other side so you can get a view of everything behind you. Okay? Doug, you're welcome. Okay.
Oh, you know what? I
Ah.
digress. I got nothing to say. I got nothing to say on that. But you know what? With the new S new 24S Plus that I just purchased yesterday, my wife
Uh-huh.
has been giving me instructions on how to properly use said technology.
Hey. Oh God. Okay. All right. Well,
Oh
let me tell
man.
you. All right. Hey, everybody, we appreciate y'all. We thank you for showing up. And like I said again, I've said this multiple times, but on your way out, please like the channel. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and subscribe to Two Fans in the Stands. As Tony said, our next goal is 1,500 subscribers. Our next goal after that is 2,000.
Yeah.
Okay. Training camp coming up. We're going to continue with these position group rankings for the NFC South until training camp
Mhm.
comes around. We got a few more things planned for for some of the episodes in between there. Um, I will try my damnedest to get some tickets to all of the practices. There are going to be three that I'm not going to be able to make it to, but if y'all are going to training camp, hey, holla at your boy. I will. Like I said, if I get some tickets, I'm going to be there early. They're going to see me
Yeah.
down off somewhere on Graham Street about 6:30 in the morning, camped out in my little lawn chair, my little Panthers lawn chair with the little cup holder on the side. So I'm gonna be ready. I'm gonna be ready. But yeah,
Mountain Dew with no ice.
no Coke, no ice. Coke, no ice.
Coke no ice.
But yeah, hey, but we appreciate all the love and support, everybody. And like I always do, I want to take y'all out with three things. All right. Number one, y'all be good. Number two, y'all be safe. And number three, as always, Panther Nation, hey, keep pounding, man. We'll see y'all.